what's the difference between exogenous ketones and endogenous ketones?
Exogenous are supplemented. Endogenous are produced from your liver.
So endogenous ketones are ketones that are made inside the body. So when you're burning your own fat, and part of that is converted to ketones, that's considered endogenous ketones.
So when we are in nutritional ketosis, when we're following a ketogenic diet, and our body is making ketones, those are endogenous ketones. They're made inside our body.
Another kind of in between endogenous and exogenous is eating medium chain triglycerides. So this is a type of fatty acid, a type of oil. The richest source is coconut oil, but MCT oil itself is also available. But your liver will convert part of that fat to ketones.
It's often difficult to achieve a certain level of blood ketones through nutritional ketosis alone. And so what we're finding is that adding exogenous ketones, it's just cumulative. So it gives you a greater amount of blood ketones for your body to use.
One way to do it relatively easily, but at relatively low levels of ketones, is adding coconut and or MCT oil to the diet. That will boost up ketone levels to what's called mild nutritional ketosis. Exercise, vigorous exercise can increase ketones and can sustain them and slightly elevated again for 8 or 9 hours, but that only happens if you either fast or eat a low carb meal. An example of exogenous ketones, so these are ketones that were made outside of the body that are taken in, are ketone salts. So the ketone salts are actually the ketone beta-hydroxybutyrate that is formed during the process of breaking down fat.
But exogenous ketones, we know that people can get into a state of ketosis reliably and repetitively.
And so for those people who just can't get into nutritional ketosis, that's where the exogenous ketones are helpful as well.
So we're now uncovering certain effects of ketones that seem to have beneficial properties. So, for example, being in ketosis, a natural normal state of ketosis, is associated with a reduction in inflammation.
Well, you know, there's new research showing that, in fact, exogenous ketones, such as Prove-It, can actually reduce hunger. So that's what's really important. When you eat less sugar, you actually feel less hungry. So ultimately, what you want to do is suppress that craving for food.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the applications on the weight loss aspect of things, the energy aspect of things, and then for the work we do, what we're really excited about is testing out the potential for exogenous ketones in the setting of brain injury and things like concussive injury.
There certainly can be benefits with exogenous ketones and fat loss, but it's not some magic thing that you're going to drink and then instantly melt fat off. But people discount the fat loss benefits when in actuality, if you drink exogenous ketones, you're likely going to be fuller longer. Our lab's seen that you increase brown adipose tissue, which is responsible for burning a lot of fat. And then also the increases in muscle is going to allow you to optimize fat loss. So yes, by drinking them, you can achieve that fat loss. It's just the ways in which it's achieved just needs to be clarified.
So are all ketones created equally?
I would say no. Like in simple terms, no. I think the bottom line is, one, you have to think about with ketones, again, you have different isomers. So one is producing the isomer that your body makes, that bioidentical isomer is one of the key things. And then two is there's really only one group that's producing ketones naturally, like actually fermenting them naturally, and that's proven.
So let's talk about Keto Nats. Y'all, it's brand new. What is Keto Nat? What makes it different than any other ketone that's available?
Yeah, so Keto Nat is basically a naturally fermented process. This has been something that's been worked on for several years that allows the process of actually developing the ketones to be a naturally fermented process. So there's no possibilities of any interruptions or any process things to get into that process. So that's one of the most amazing things. It's a very clean energy that no one else in the market has been able to figure out and that we have the exclusive on.
So tell me about that exclusive. What does that mean?
So no one else in the market can utilize Keto Nat because Prove-It has the exclusive on it, and there's so many patents that are built around it that no one's going to be able to come in and utilize that process, even though it's taken us 10 years to develop this. It's something that now is here and it's here to stay.